At the time, the great powers of the world could only guess what existed in the uncharted West. Native Americans already called this land home, but other nations hoped for a wealth of natural riches and had staked competing claims. Britain to Canada and the Oregon Country, Russia the Pacific Northwest, Spain the West and parts of the South, France an immense tract called Louisiana. By sending an expedition into foreign land, Thomas Jefferson hoped to open the West up for the United States. In 1803, a surprise. Napoleon offered to sell the entire Louisiana territory. The U.S. quickly purchased it for $15 million, more than doubling the size of the nation. To cross this unknown land would be among the most ambitious and difficult journeys ever conceived. Clark wrote in his journal,
"All in health and readiness to set out, boats and everything complete with the necessary stores of provisions, though not as much as I think necessary for the multitude of Indians through which we must pass."
They pushed off upstream from St. Louis. Young American soldiers and French-Canadian rivermen hand-picked for strength and wilderness skills. Among them, a man named York, Clark's slave and companion since childhood. All were leaving their families behind for years. Their main mission was to find a water route to the Pacific and the Orient beyond. The long-hoped-for Northwest Passage. Lewis was a studious and solitary man. Under Jefferson, he had been trained to observe and record for science every new thing he saw, and he spent hours exploring alone with his dog. In this unfamiliar territory, just collecting a specimen could be dangerous. Only 2 days out, Lewis had nearly lost his life, with a long journey still ahead. But a greater challenge they faced every day, the back-breaking work of moving tons of gear upriver against the full flood of the powerful, unpredictable Missouri. William Clark.
The sergeant at the helm run under a bending tree and broke the mast. I am tormented with mosquitoes and ticks.
Meriwether Lewis.
The barge run foul 3 times today on logs. Happily, no injury was sustained, though the barge was in imminent danger.
Passed a bad sandbar where our tow rope broke twice. A storm struck our boat. It would have thrown her up on the sand island, dashed to pieces in an instant. Dr. Hardy leaped out and kept her off.
Some days they made only a few miles with more than 3,000 to go. Clark was a practical and plain-spoken man. He usually commanded the men on the river and kept records to make an accurate new map of the West. As they pushed up the Missouri toward present-day Omaha, Nebraska, they were deep into Indian lands. Traders and trappers had been up here, but no well-armed military party.
A party of Otoe and Missouri Nation came to camp. Captain Lewis and myself sent them some roasted meat. In return, they sent us watermelons. Been up the greater part of last night with Sergeant Floyd, who is as bad as he can be. He expired, having said to me before his death that he was going away. We buried him with all the honors of war, much lamented.
They pushed on into the heart of the Great Plains.
The immense river waters one of the fairest portions of the globe. Nor do I believe that there is in this universe a similar extent of country.